and I've got opinions on stuff.
Hey, what's up? I'm Ray. I've got some opinions on things as well, man.
Yes.
You ready to get started today, bro?
Yes, let's do it.
Woo! I'm jacked up. If I'm a little tweaked up today, it's because I'm going on like no sleep. I've had a nap before this bad boy. Got a little bit of chocolate, got a little caffeine, and I got some fruit punch in my system. I'm ready to rock and roll, man. Like, I'm ready to storm the beaches of Normandy. To be honest with you, I'm ready to rage. In fact, I'm ready to rage against the machine today. Because the title of our show today is Rage for the Machine. Ironically, we're noticing some trends in our world that the left and liberals, who used to be classically against the machine, have, in some Greek tragedy, succumbed to fighting for the machine, fighting for the man, and fighting for what's going on, man. And there's been a switch.
They became the machine because they weren't. They were rebelling against, dare I say it, God.
What, God?
Yes.
The G-O-D, the big man? The man upstairs?
That isn't to say that the religious right were 100% right.
I mean, you know, we only burned some witches and stuff like that, bro.
Oh, I'm not even saying that.
I mean, use the Bible
to
justify slavery. Yeah. I mean, come on.
No,
bro.
I'm not even talking about that. All of those things wrong.
Yep.
All of those things, I would argue, unchristian.
What?
But I'm talking about the religious right of like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Where it was a concerted political effort I mean, it was religious authoritarianism.
Sure. You know, like like screening, like
it was. They were trying
parental warnings and
yeah, they were trying to have governmental
morality.
Yeah, governmental enforced morality. Like, we're gonna make the government force you to have family values.
What?
You know, it's like
America.
No, that's not American.
That's not even liberal.
That's un-American.
It's a little yeah, fair enough. So so we're on this topic, raging for the machine, and I gotta know, were you a Rage Against the Machine fan back in the day?
Yes.
Okay.
I do enjoy some of their music. Yes.
Little rage, getting after it.
I own the Battle of Los Angeles.
Ooh, that's a good one, man. That's a
pretty good one. Some of those songs remind me of Christmas for some reason. Because like my grandma would sleep in my room and I would sleep on the floor, and I just remember lying on the floor during one Christmas season listening to that album over and over again, and so it always brings up that nostalgia.
Did it just get you raged up a little bit, tweaked up?
It does now, but only because I understand what they were talking about.
Okay, hey, that's fair.
No, it was. I mean, it was some pretty good stuff.
Yeah. My exposure to Rage Against the Machine didn't happen until college. I'll be honest with you. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I went to.
Most of my stuff was like high school and college.
Yeah. I didn't know about Rage Against the Machine until I went to college. My buddy Dave, who I love to death, he lives up in Chicago. He just had a baby, but he's the one that indoctrinated me into the ways of Rage Against the Machine. I went to a very, how do I say this? I went to a very emo college. Very emo. Lots of emo going on, man. So, not a lot of black people at the college that I went to. Shocker. But anyways, what I was saying was I got introduced to this band called Rage Against the Machine. And I was like, wait a minute. They're rocking hard. Like, tasty jam, getting after it.
What's really amazing is the sounds that they can produce with the guitar.
Yeah.
Because they explicitly claim that all the sounds that you hear are either drums or guitar.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And they rapped on the beat. I liked it. I was like, I'm digging this.
So you don't like rap that strays from the beat?
Oh, well.
I hate it. I can't stand it. It drives me insane. It's like, no,
but see,
I'm missing it. Come on.
But I like POD and I like Korn, you know, and I like those style. I love that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I love Rage Against the Machine. I happen to. What was your favorite Rage Against the Machine song?
What I just said it.
Killing in the Name of?
No.
Bulls on Parade.
Bulls on Parade.
Bulls on Parade. They used to play that USF, man. The band would play that as
that makes sense.
Like, it was really good. I liked it a lot. Fireman.
Yeah, that's cool.
I liked Wake Up because of the end of the Matrix. Matrix is my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Very end. Neo's like, I'm coming. Hangs up the phone, flies into the mystical digital Matrix, and you hear, wake up! And it was like a screaming. It's so good. It just fired me up, got me ready to go. Makes me want to watch The Matrix right now. But
great movie.
raging against the machine. Growing up, man, I thought I was raging against the machine a lot, man. I thought, I was raging against that kind of the tail end of the morality police that the government was trying to put on, and so on and so forth.
When you were young, you were thinking about the government, though?
Well, here's what I'll say.
Or was it like, parental authority and...
I'll give you an example. Tipper Gore. Remember good old Tipper Gore?
But you found them in college, so
yes,
maybe it was governmental. Okay.
But even growing up, like, even before that, remember Tipper Gore? Al Gore's wife?
Yeah.
Who tried to, like, regulate, like, what bands could say and all that sort of... remember, you're a Miami guy, Two Live Crew. You ever Two Live Crew? They got, like, regulated because they were singing some... they had booty jams, we'll call them, which would be, like, very tame nowadays and so on and so forth.
Probably, yeah.
But they came after it. I remember when Eminem actually was relevant and was a good rapper, he had a song dedicated to Tipper Gore, basically to, kick rocks and pound sand. I remember...
Which is interesting because they're Democrats.
It's weird. Democrats trying to tell people what to do?
Yeah.
That's... Never would have thought of that. And here's the thing that's amazing.
But who does Rage Against the Machine vote for?
Democrats. Every time, all the way through.
That's weird.
So they were raging against the machine, but not really. It's almost like they made it up or something. Like it was all Fugazi. Fugazi.
I don't know. I think that there's... the liberals today are raging against the machine, and it's like, what machine?
You're raging for the machine.
Yeah, that's...
You are the machine.
You are the machine.
Hollywood is a part of the machine. It is...
You have Hollywood, academia.
Academia?
The news media.
What? Media? So all the loudest voices in our society...
are
all unifiedly...
alphabet soup of our government institutions.
What? They're all in the same group. They're all in the same deal.
Yeah.
And they're not really raging against the machine. They're like raging against the people, which is kind of weird. Aren't they supposed to be the people for the people?
They say that.
And they prove it over and over again that they're not.
No.
And here's what blows me away about all this rage.
Not if you don't think right.
Hey, you got to think right, dang it. We're all for women, unless you don't think right. We're for blacks, unless you're Kanye West and you say something different. We're all for... and that's the thing, which is hilarious to me, that nobody is seeing this switch. And, and I always bust the Democrats' balls for the switch. They always make the invisible switch like, oh, yeah, the Democrats, like, one day they were racist and KKK, but they switched overnight. And now they love people. No, they just changed the tactic.
Yeah.
They were all for slavery. They didn't want to abolish slavery, but then when they did, they created the New Deal, which then kind of created an institutional slavery without it being slavery. They created that. And the Republicans, from a principle standpoint, have always been about freedom, liberty, individual choice, all that crazy stuff that's supposedly evil in the machine.
Not a woman's choice.
Oh, yeah.
Not a woman's choice.
Oh, yeah. So... they're raging, man. There's a lot of rage going on, man, for the machine right now. And I made a fun list for us to go over.
Oh, I like
fun list. Just a fun list for all the Plausible, for all you guys that are following us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. What else have we got, man? We got...
Patreon, iTunes, Google Play.
And here's the deal. You support us...
But mostly YouTube.
YouTube.
Right here. That's where you're watching it.
YouTube. Like us, share, subscribe on YouTube. This one gives us some beautiful lights that are making us look so good. I don't know if I want them to see my face this much, but it is what it is.
You're a
it's all
beautiful
good.
Man.
You think I'm beautiful?
I do.
That gave me some feels. That gave me some feels. So I made a fun list, because they're raging for the machine, and a lot of the rage that's coming out, that's like, oh, we're so angry at the establishment, we're so mad about what's going on, ironically, is not against anything. It's really for the purposes of the media and Hollywood and academia and all these institutions that uniformly are always on the left, and ironically are always against the people. Kind of interesting. Here's my first list of rage. I want you to remind you liberals, when you raged, and you raged hard against the machine, let me give you our first candidate for the day. White lash. Remember white lash?
I do remember the term.
Yeah, so there was an election.
It.
There was an election in 2016. I don't know if you've heard about it. I mean, it hasn't died. It's 2018, and they still bring it up. And there was a guy named Van Jones from CNN that said the fact that Donald Trump was voted in as president was a white lash against Barack Obama. There was a rage that, God forbid, we actually voted a white dude back into the office. And that was white lash. Yeah. You bad people. You didn't think the way we wanted you to think, so therefore we're rage against the people. And we'll rage for the machine that put Barack Obama in there in the first place.
Yeah.
A little bit of rage, bro.
Yeah, because we were raging that we had a black president.
Whoa, we totally raged. Didn't we like burn? Like we like harassed them in the street.
Oh yeah, I mean, remember all the riots?
Yeah, I
because
remember those.
Barack Obama was in president.
Oh, and remember
all the riots in white cities.
Yeah, man, remember that? Hey, and do you remember?
Like, no, I don't remember.
Oh yeah, that didn't happen. That's weird. Okay, anyways, but yeah. So next one, Paris Climate Accords. Remember, the world was going to end because we broke out of the Paris Climate Accords. Donald Trump hated the very ground that we stand on.
Did you see that UN IPCC just today put out that there's no increase in these natural disaster weather events?
What?
Yeah.
Trump starts hurricanes. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, I mean,
because
and
Trump
the
exists.
Paris Climate Accords is gonna,
stop it.
Yeah, but we pulled out because he hates us. Yeah, the UN's own council on climate change.
Wait.
Yeah,
there's no significant increase.
Yeah, somehow they were honest. I don't.
They were
understand
honest.
that.
Is it because we're forcing them to be honest finally?
It might be
because the people are
which
actually
also
holding
ties
them
into
true?
why did Nikki Haley resign? I'm sad about that.
Yeah, I like Nikki Haley.
I'm sad about that.
Well, maybe.
Unless she's just going to do something else and be a boss at that too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what? Side note though, I actually kind of like it. You know why I like it? Here's the thing: everybody wants to knock Trump because there's a lot of people that start with him, and then he recycles through a lot of people. I want to remind people that isn't the point of politics public service? And what I mean by that is, should that be their main gig, or should they be there for a time and hand it back? And I say this as a guy from Ohio, and I happen to grow up really close to Cincinnati. Okay. And I'll give you a little quick 10-second tour. Cincinnati is named after Cincinnaticus, who was a famous Caesar, or he was a famous ruler in Rome, and they would always call on him when the enemies were at the gate, and he would assume the role of Caesar, repel the enemy, and then he would give up his power and go back to the farm. And he did that multiple times. But he would raise up at the times that were needed. Now, the last person that raised up as Caesar stayed as Caesar and then became an emperor for the throne of Rome. But that was the concept of public service that our founding fathers talked about. Like, their main revenue source was not the government. It was, I happen to be a statesman, but I'm going to, whatever. It's the reason why George Washington only took 2 terms. He didn't have to only do 2 terms. He could have.
They wanted him to be king.
Yeah, he could have been king. He could have ruled.
He was like, no, that's not what this country's about.
But my long story short...
Exactly why we went to war.
Yeah, my long story short is, my point is, I think it's a good thing that people come in for a season and leave. You know what I mean? I think it's good.
I agree. I mean,
we've seen
one of the biggest tenets of, the current conservative movement is
term limits. Term limits and not being there forever.
None of these long-term senators and representatives who've been in here for 40, 50, 60, 70 years.
Like Bill Nelson in Florida?
Like Bill Nelson
in Florida? What?
Like Bill Nelson in Florida.
No way! I mean, even, what's his face?
Thank you for your service, I think. Probably not.
Did you do anything?
See you later.
Have you seen his ads? They're great. Oh, man, this terrible Rick Scott guy who has a huge resume. Like, here's the deal. If you're honest about Rick Scott... Sorry, this is the senatorial race in Florida, if you haven't paid attention. Make sure you go vote out in November. But, like, Rick Scott has, like, a really long resume of stuff he's accomplished as governor. And, like, Bill Nelson's trying to be like, oh, he's a shyster. And then you flip around like, but, Bill, what have you done? What have you done since the 70s, since you've been in there? But anyways, my point is, public service is only supposed to be a service. You're supposed to serve the public. Serve man. That may not mean being in some empirical role forever. Maybe it's like being like Cincinnaticus and only doing the job and leaving when you need it, when it's done. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why we're in a lot of the crap we are, because of the career politicians that we're talking about. Sure. And it's good that we're changing and always changing that stuff up. But just bringing that up with the rage police and so on and so forth. Okay, Paris Accords. We were talking about white lash. You ready for this one? Christian bakers. Remember that one? You evil Christian bakers.
It still rears its ugly head from
evil.
time to time, but yeah.
We should make these guys. They are so unchristian for for sticking to their beliefs and not doing something.
Yeah.
Yet, Fake rage. Anyways, is that for the people or against the people? I don't know. Black Lives Matter. Remember those guys? Black Lives Matter. Remember them?
Oh yeah.
They were huge. They were a huge movement, funded by George Soros. Huge movement, right? Where are they now?
Well,
what happened to the rage about police are so evil and so corrupt and so... Oh, wait a minute. All the statistics came out about that. And
the statistics, the studies.
Empirical evidence.
People
One
still
might
believe
say.
it. People still believe it.
Oh, they do.
They cite it all the time. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
a given. It's a given,
It's a given,
as far as
bro.
they're concerned.
But think about that concept. Are you raging for the machine or are you raging for the people? In that case, who are you raging for?
Well, I mean, they're raging against police. Many would say police are the machine.
Okay. But aren't they the
Well,
servants of the people? Aren't they the defenders of the people? One might argue.
Well, I think with police, we have to hold two things in tension.
Okay.
Okay. Not all police are bad.
Okay.
Okay.
Not all police are good.
Not all police are good, but like, we need police to maintain law and order.
Okay.
Right. But at the same time, police are an authoritarian, thing. I mean, and they are.
Yeah.
I mean, the abuse of power is a thing.
Yep. Sure.
Is a thing. So it's something we have to stay vigilant against.
Yep.
So in that respect, they're not wrong to be skeptical
Okay.
of police,
Okay.
but at the same time, they're painting with a giant brush.
Sure.
All police, just basically all police, as a racist institution, and that's what's just demonstrably
Yes.
false.
100%. You know what's funny? All these things are getting blown up by like empirical evidence. Have you noticed that? Like real science and
Yes.
like real numbers.
Over and over again.
That's
but
weird.
and you notice how the narrative is against, like, so strongly
Evidence?
against evidence and empirical science as, like, I mean, how many episodes ago did we talk about that discussion that logic and reason are toxically masculine?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, well, you can't win, and that's by design.
Of course.
You can't win because they're not. You're trying to talk reason, and they don't care about reason.
And once your point's destroyed, they flip. They change the conversation.
For sure.
It's like the
They'll start out trying to reason, and then once they realize, oh, you actually know reason.
Oh, and you're using facts.
You're using facts.
And logic.
Well, then we're gonna switch it around because I don't care about your facts or your reason. It's like, Ben Shapiro always talks. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Yep.
Well, it turns out that feelings don't care about our facts either.
It goes both ways, apparently. Huh?
Yeah, that's a double-edged sword. So
Yeah.
there's something we need to do about that.
Yeah. Well, one might say we could fix that through education, but we know we'll talk about it later on the show that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Here's some more rage for the machine. You ready for it? Rage for the machine. Babies are being separated at the border, which was happening for 3 administrations before Trump, but now that Trump's in, now we're going to get pissed off about it. And Trump signs an executive order to end it.
You posted a meme, somebody screaming, one of those pictures of the
Screaming liberal.
screaming liberal.
Yeah.
Babies are being separated at the border, and then women should have the right to kill their babies.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
Ironic.
how many babies are being separated by Planned Parenthood?
No, that's weird.
Yeah.
So think about that. Does killing babies support humanity, or does it support the machine? What does that support?
The machine.
Uh-oh, you're sounding like one of those crazy info warriors all of a sudden, man. You're sounding like one of those. But think about that, people. Less people, like population control.
Mm-hmm.
That is not beneficial to humanity at all, because you're killing humanity. And those people could help humanity, but you're limiting the amount of humanity that can come in. That benefits the institutions. Think about it. Oh my goodness. Now the funny thing is, the other administrations were separating babies at borders. Crazy. Like there was almost like a punishment for there was a consequences for trying to illegally cross the border. And the moment that Trump gets in, now we're like, our eyes have opened, even though Glenn Beck was there years before, pleading about this during the Obama.
to news institutions to report this.
Yep.
Please report this. This is happening
During the Obama administration.
big time.
Oh,
They're like, no,
Obama.
not interested.
Not
But
interested.
Trump is like, really, it was. We're just gonna keep this in our back pocket in case a Republican gets.
Yeah. Trump said, oh, he's separating the babies at the border with a fake picture in Time News, the fake baby screaming at Trump. And like the next day, he writes an executive order and wipes it away. And it went away. It just disappeared. What happened? What happened to the rage? One might say that they're controlled by feelings and not principles.
That's definitely true.
One might make that
That's
argument.
definitely true. And then once that argument, once that narrative no longer has any steam,
Yep.
just toss it. Move on to the next one.
Yep. Hey, remember when Jimmy Kimmel used his son to argue for socialized medicine?
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
So he uses his kid, kills late night comedy, to talk about the only way his son could have gotten this treatment was through socialized medicine.
Yeah, either that or he just thinks about all the other families that, couldn't do what he could do because he's rich. And it's...
But then the logic train.
Yeah.
How many
realize
people?
that? Yeah.
Go
Do
ahead.
you realize that if we had socialized medicine, the procedure that your son had probably wouldn't exist because socialized medicine does not innovate.
No, time out of the field. I mean, clearly all the medical breakthroughs are coming through Cuba. I mean, right now.
Well, Cuba
In
does have the
Venezuela.
greatest
Yeah, man.
medical system in the world.
It's the best.
Something.
It's the best. But why do people
nonsense.
still come to America? I'll give you an
Because
example.
We have the best. We provide the innovations for the socialized world to then use, and even then you're still gonna have to wait and probably die on that waiting line
Yeah.
to actually get the procedure done.
Anecdote here. I'm gonna throw an anecdote in there. I'm on Instagram. I don't know if you guys know that. Follow us on Plausible Foolishness on Instagram. I put some funny memes up there. They will make you chuckle. I've gotten him to chuckle. If I can get him to chuckle, they're good and they're hilarious. So make
You act
sure.
like I have no sense of humor.
I know. I'm just like no, but check us out on Instagram. Anyways, I follow a Russian weightlifter. He's a gold medalist Russian weightlifter. He got LASIK. Now here's the crazy thing. He got it in Moscow. Did you know that? Wait, no, he didn't do that. He went to London to get LASIK.
What?
No, wait. He didn't go there. No. He went to Venezuela to get LASIK. You know what's funny? He went to Miami, Florida. He flew from Moscow to Miami, Florida to get LASIK surgery. If our medical system is so evil, why are people from other countries coming here to get procedures? Something as simple as LASIK. Why is that, my friend?
I guess it would be because we have the greatest medical system in the world.
But we gotta rage for the machine and say, government will save us. They'll help us with medical. You don't think so?
No, they won't save us.
Oh my goodness. All right. Next one on the list. Mueller investigation, man. We're raging because, Trump's about to get thrown in jail. How long's the Mueller investigation been going on now? 2 years now? Almost 2 years?
Has it been? Really? Jeez.
I mean, it's been going on since he was in office, so.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
After
then.
2 years of investigation, don't you think they would have prosecuted him at this point? Maybe? Had something?
Well,
I mean,
don't think so because they haven't found anything.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I mean, well, they did find some Russian collusion.
Well, did they? Trump
Yeah, it
administration,
was on.
Trump,
No,
right?
it was on Hillary Clinton's
Oh,
part.
what?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Uranium One girl? She's
Uranium
in bed with the
One,
Russians?
Fusion GPS.
What?
The big Trump dossier,
What?
et cetera, et cetera.
She would do that? The Clintons would never betray the people.
That's true. Yeah, they're awesome.
They love the
They're
people,
gosh.
especially Haitians.
I love them like with all of my heart.
I just love them. Clinton's a rapist. Sorry, anyways, I had to say it. But, sorry. And we're not making light of rape, okay?
No.
Gosh, sensitivity. But my point is, like, it's funny that the Mueller investigation is perpetrated as this fight to stop Trump because he's the man. When in all reality, all you're doing is defending the deep state. They're trying to defend the status quo in the government, which is not the people.
Yeah, they just hate the guy.
Gosh, it's so ridiculous. But they rage for about remember the Mueller investigation, Russian collusion. They're gonna, and all they're finding is the FBI was super corrupt. They were trying to keep Hillary in power, so they can stay in power. It's weird, so weird. And there's people that argued with me 2 years ago that I was so crazy that blah blah blah. I was a Sean Hannity in the tank right wing for the man. Weird. They're doing the opposite. Hey, remember we were supposed to be dead because North Korea was shooting missiles at us. Remember that?
Oh yeah. He was gonna start World War III.
Yeah, because of tweets, he was gonna start World War III, and it was almost like they were trying to recreate Benghazi. That Benghazi happened because of was it a tweet or a video?
It was a video. On
that's
YouTube.
the alleged story. It was a video.
Yep.
Oh, that's weird. Like they used that playbook again. And what's weird is the tweet didn't start a war.
No, but actually got us to where we are now, and the Korean War officially ended.
That's weird.
And we had a summit, and supposedly now there's questions on whether or not he's actually going to live up to the denuclearization.
He won't.
Deal.
He
Probably
won't.
not.
He won't.
But
however,
if we stay vigilant, we're going to get somewhere.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're going to get. I mean, we've already gotten somewhere. Hey, we just need to keep down this road. And
hey, remember the rage for Trump's comments about Mexican immigrants? Remember that rage? That it would start a border war.
Yeah, the clearly taken out of context comments.
Yeah, that all Mexicans are rapists and blah blah blah, which is taken completely out of context.
It's not what he said.
Not even close. But that would end diplomacy with Mexico. But what's funny is didn't he just cut a deal with Mexico, a trade that benefits the United States a couple weeks ago? So after he said the statements that he said that were so deflammatory and so evil and blah blah blah, and he's so against the people. Those statements led to diplomacy, which benefits the people. It's kind of weird, don't you think? I don't know. Weird. Let's rage for the machine some more. Remember Stormy Daniels? You remember that?
Oh, I remember. How could we forget?
Oh my goodness! Because
especially when her lawyer is still sticking his neck into his nose into
creepy porn lawyer.
Yeah,
he's the best.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
He'll be known as that for the rest of his life. Thank you, Tucker Carlson. We appreciate that. Creepy porn lawyer. So Stormy Daniels, not raped at all, consensually has sex with a married man, and that is now. None of us voted for Trump on his moral basis. I will go out and say that.
I didn't vote for him at all.
Yeah. I voted for him for other reasons. I didn't vote for his moral stance. Because at the end of the day, we're deluding ourselves if we think any man is moral. They're not. There's none righteous, no, not one. I mean, I hate to quote the Bible, Sorry, Bible. That book of truth. None of us are righteous. And Trump never pretended. The difference is Trump's not a politician. He doesn't pretend to actually be a good moral compass person. He doesn't. He says, "Hey, I'm a playboy." He
pretended a little.
When he said 1 Corinthians, remember that? Did you remember that?
1 Corinthians.
Reading from 1 Corinthians.
Yeah, I mean, he pretended a little bit.
And I'll bust his
the Bible is his favorite book, maybe his second favorite book.
Yeah, the Bible's my favorite book. 1 Corinthians 10:13.
Whatever.
I'll bust his balls.
Nobody bought that. But
of course,
maybe some people did.
Well, he was at Liberty University. He felt the pressure, and then he said 1 Corinthians.
I understand. He was doing the politician thing,
shaking
the
hands, kissing the babies, man.
Exactly.
but
nobody bought it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a select few, and may God have mercy on their souls. But
yeah, and the funny thing is, while Trump's kicking butt, they bring up Stormy Daniels. While there's great things happening, at the same time they're announcing.
I don't understand what the end game was with that. Except that they were trying to prove that he used campaign funds to pay her off.
Well, they're trying to find something to stick to him. And he does everything by the book. That's the problem. Or for them.
Yeah.
He does everything by the book. Even if it's not like... Doesn't do anything illegal. It may be like toward the line, but he doesn't cross it. Yeah,
maybe that we've seen. They haven't been able to find anything.
It's weird, man. Do you remember? You remember that David Hawk guy, the Parkland shooting? You
David
remember
Hogg?
Yeah, Hogg. Yeah, sorry.
Hogg, yeah.
Yeah, I remember
him. Yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah, I remember him. I remember how quickly they dropped him as soon as he started making a fool of himself in Canada.
That's weird.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't. What did he do?
He's at a film festival.
Okay.
With Michael Moore.
Oh gosh.
In Canada, and Michael Moore is, showing his new video that's
Trump is evil.
Yeah, basically. And I think it has a Second Amendment element to it.
Of course.
And so, which is why David Hogg was there. And then he's speaking to the crowd of Canadians and talking to them as if they're Americans, about the Second Amendment and all this stuff. And it's like, they don't have the Second Amendment. They're not Americans, you moron. And Michael Moore basically had to take his microphone, and that was kind of the end. We haven't really heard much from him since.
It's weird. So what you're saying is an inexperienced 18-year-old kid probably isn't the wisest person to talk about gun laws? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, probably.
So when they exploited him, was that for the benefit of the people or the machine?
The machine. They want us disarmed.
They raged for the machine again. Oh, that's weird. I don't know if you've heard about this one. Grab him by the hoo-ha. You remember that one? Grab him by the
I remember that.
Yeah. Now, we are fathers of daughters. We've got street cred. He's quarter Jewish, and I'm black, half black.
Quarter.
You can't touch us. We can say what we want on this. I had to caveat this. Quarter Jew. Can you be quarter Jew, Matt?
Quarter Jew.
Quarter Jew, Matt. No, I'm just kidding. But my point is this. It's just like Stormy Daniels. Did it really shock you? And here's the other thing. That quote, though vulgar, taken out of context. It wasn't molesting women or
it
blah,
wasn't.
blah, blah.
He wasn't talking about what he loves to do. He's talking about what life is like as a celebrity, where there's a certain subset of women who throw themselves at famous men.
Weird. Hypergamy?
And tell me that you don't know that that's a thing.
Women are not about hypergamy. Come on.
Tell me that you don't know that that's a thing.
It's a social construct. You're making that up, man.
No, that's bullcrap. Come on, man. We all look at the rock star life.
Yeah. I mean, we
all
live it.
We all
live it.
grew
We
up
live
in
it.
the 80s.
I mean, we live that rock star life, bro.
Yeah, right. I'm glad that I don't.
Yeah.
I am glad that I don't.
What, cocaine's and hookers, man? Come on, bro.
I don't want that crap, man.
You don't want it? What?
No. I want my wife and I want my little girls, and that's it.
Yeah, but you don't want STDs, bro?
SUVs?
STDs.
STDs, no, definitely not.
Oh, you don't want those?
No.
You don't want a cocaine addiction?
No, I don't want to OD and end up in alley and on the front page of the newspaper the next day.
You don't want to go on Dancing with the Stars and try to revive your career?
Definitely not.
What? What? You don't want to end up TMZ doing some crazy rant on the street? You don't want to do that?
No, I don't. I don't want any of that.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, fair
but
enough.
We all know, I mean, we all grew up in the 80s and the 90s. We know, I mean, that's half the music videos were about that. when MTV used to play music videos and not try to indoctrinate our children with
And we all just want to be big rock stars. And we all just want... That whole song's about that.
Yeah.
It's a commentary on that. Oh, crazy. I don't know if you remember Christine Ford. I don't know if you've heard of that person before.
Gosh, sounds familiar.
Is that familiar?
She like the granddaughter of like
a CIA
Henry
agent.
Ford?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
CIA agent.
Yeah. They would never try to manipulate the public or anything like that. You know what I mean?
No.
Project Mockingbird. But anyways, sorry. It's coming out. Look it up. Don't trust us. Look it up. But trust Matt. Just don't trust me, okay? I am the foolish part of Plausible Foolishness.
Don't trust me either. I'm gonna get it wrong. We're going to.
I don't think we have yet, though, bro. We haven't got it wrong yet.
Well, I mean, we posted that picture of that wasn't actually Ford on Instagram.
It wasn't the facts. It was about the feels.
Okay.
It's about the feels. We were just using their tactic, bro.
Okay.
And it's a hilarious picture.
Should we though? It is a hilarious picture.
Listen, man.
Yeah. It's a meme. Okay.
It's a
Get
meme.
over it.
Pepe the Frog, though.
Yeah, we should never put too much stock in any meme that ever comes across our.
Well, in Europe they do. They actually banned them. You know, you can't do memes in Europe anymore.
Did they actually?
They actually banned it.
It got to the banning.
The UN banned it.
Let's see how well that goes.
I mean, you know, free speech. I mean, it's everywhere, right? Oh wait, that's a uniquely American thing.
Yeah, but it's the internet, so what are they gonna do?
Sure. Well, net neutrality and control it, but that's another. But net neutral's for the people, man.
Yeah.
It's for the people.
Yeah.
It's for the people.
It's for you mindless consumers to not have to pay a little bit more, potentially, in a scenario that's never happened ever.
Yeah, it's crazy. But anyways, Christine Ford, you know, she got in front of, you know, well, at first she had a story, then it changed. I don't know if other episodes we kind of covered this a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Last episode.
A
really good episode.
Yeah, really, yeah, great episode. That was episode 32 or 33. We're at 34.
We're at 34, bro.
34.
34.
Holy crap! You haven't killed me yet. Let's go. Anyways, I won't review it, but you know, she said she couldn't fly because she was afraid of, you know, confined spaces. That ended up not being true. She flies all the time in small little commercial jets. That ended up being a lie.
And now we're dealing with the backlash of this whole Kavanaugh thing.
Yeah. So
and it's like you got Taylor Swift saying she's going to vote Democrat now. Based on what?
Based on what?
Based on what?
A false allegation that wasn't.
I've seen several posts on Instagram, on our Instagram, you know, from people that, you know, I don't know, that show up on our feed, and they're like, you know, my grandma wants me to come to Ohio and make sure that she gets to the polls on November 6th. She's been a Republican her whole life, but now she's voting straight Democrat.
No, you're not.
Based on what?
Based on, yeah.
Based on what just happened with Kavanaugh?
Yeah.
Are you freaking kidding me?
You know what's funny, and I'm probably, this could be something I'm wrong about, because the midterms are coming, but does it seem like the Democrats love taking a gun to their own feet? Is that like their thing? Do they really enjoy that? Like, they had to have known that wasn't going to work. They had to have known. All they were trying to do was smear and ruin his life.
Yeah.
But they had to have known there wasn't enough evidence to stop that. And
well, I've actually been thinking about this a bit.
Okay.
So, I was thinking about 9/11, and really, like, this spiral into madness began after 9/11. 9/11 really was the impetus for the direction that we're going. Now, granted, not really the direction, the speed at which we're going. Because this has been a 100-year plan since the Fabian socialists in Britain, you know, and the Progressive Party and all of this stuff. It's all been the slow crawl towards the far left, right? But then 9/11 happens, and then they're like, you know, this might be an opportunity. You know, don't let any tragedy go to waste.
Yeah.
Don't let a good tragedy go to waste. So then they make up this word, Islamophobia. And they just make it up out of whole cloth. You'd never heard it before until that point. And it worked. And all of a sudden Islamophobia is a thing. And homophobia. And all this stuff, and you're just like... And I think that emboldened them. I think they're like, wow, it worked. We can make up things, and we can push them around.
We can call them racist and they'll back down. We can call them
and so they've just gotten more and more emboldened until it reached a point that they overplayed their hand, because they stepped away from their long, slow crawl, and they tried to force it down our throats.
Yep.
And suddenly people were like, wait, what? Huh? What's that again? That doesn't make any sense.
You're a racist because you voted for Donald Trump.
And before that, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You disagree with President Obama's policies you're a racist.
Yeah.
It's not because the policies are junk. It's because you don't like black people.
Yep.
That's nonsense. and we're done with it, you know.
Yep.
And so now they've
Hubris.
overplayed their hand, and they're going to continue to it, and they're going to keep doubling down because they tasted the blood. They tasted the blood, and now they've got the bloodlust, and they're just going to keep going. And they've fully embraced the doctrines of postmodernism.
Yep.
You know, I mean, they're Marxists through to their core.
Yep.
But they've also opened themselves up to postmodernism, and they've really sunk their teeth into it, and they don't care about your reason anymore. They don't care about being reasonable. They don't care about being logical. They don't care about facts. They don't care about evidence. They don't care about it because those are only hindrances to their power gain, to their power grab. And postmodernism is all about the power struggle. I don't know how many times I've said this on this channel.
Hey,
but I've said it a million times.
You gotta beat it down.
And that's all that they're about, and you can see it in all of these things. The reason they throw it aside is because it no longer has any value to them.
Yep.
In this power grab. Where's Christine Ford? She's nowhere.
Yep.
Because they couldn't stick it. Yeah, they couldn't
pin the line.
Exactly. They couldn't make it stick.
Truth finally pushed back.
But even then, the damage is done.
Yep, the damage is done.
The damage is still done. Because now there's the people who aren't informed, like the Rube Nation. No, the Rube Nation is informed.
You're informed.
I'm saying the people who aren't informed, unlike the Rube Nation. I'm sorry for misspeak.
Hey, bro.
I misspoke.
Hey, you're mansplaining. You're mansplaining right now.
Haven't we been mansplaining this whole?
I'm playing. I gotta bust your balls. That's great. I love it.
They, they're not gonna know. They're just gonna get the little soundbite that says that we don't care about rape victims, which is so disgustingly untrue.
Yes.
We care about rape victims. That's why she even had a hearing. Because she didn't have any evidence.
Yep.
But we also care about due process.
Yep.
Because you never know when that behemoth is going to come knocking at your door. When the mob is going to come knocking at your door wanting your head. You know, and we don't believe in the guillotine.
We're not French?
No.
Oh.
That's why the French Revolution was a disaster, and the American Revolution was a smashing success.
I mean, time will tell if we were on the right side of history.
I think 200 years of America being awesome.
Freedom.
You know, and I understand that there were people groups for whom it wasn't so awesome. I definitely understand that. But
generally,
but in 200 years, we pretty much eradicated that problem.
Yeah.
There's nobody who isn't free in America.
Yeah.
Except for, prisoners, and we can talk about that. I don't know where to stand on that, but...
You know what's funny? The side note of that is, America's not great because it doesn't help out every single person. So, on the general whole, it helps out generally most people. It usually works generally for us. But they're pissed off, the left is, that it doesn't help out every single individual person. Yet, when it comes to actual principles, they don't like individualism. Have you noticed that? It's weird how they shift everything.
Well, because they know the anecdote is a weapon.
Yeah.
The anecdote is a weapon.
Of course.
For their power grab.
Well, we're going to use some
again.
Anecdotes back.
Power grab, power grab, power grab, power grab.
Yep.
But then that harkens back to the meme that you posted, where it said, "Run! Libertarians want to take control, and leave you alone."
And leave you alone.
You know,
leave you
that's
alone.
the point. When I say that there's nobody who isn't free in America right now, what I mean is, there's nothing holding you back except for you.
Yep.
Yes, most definitely, we all come from different backgrounds. We all had different tragedies in our lives, and you know, different economic means. That's true, and that makes it harder for some than for others, in various areas. Like, I would stand to reason the child of CEO of a company,
Sure. Plausible,
you know,
Foolishness
doesn't
company.
have the economic problems, but you know what? I bet you their dad was never home.
That makes a difference.
Yeah. So, you know, your dad was, but you didn't have that much money.
Yeah.
You know, their dad wasn't, but they had a ton of money.
Yep.
Okay, so they have different struggles.
Yep.
You know, everybody's got a struggle.
Yep.
They're just different.
Yep.
The money one sucks. But you know what? The no dad, the terrible relationship with your father sucks. Just look at Paris Hilton. You know?
You talking about the porn of her or the?
No, I don't go watching
Sorry.
that.
I had to do it. Sorry.
Plausible Foolishness.
Plausible. I'm the fool. I need to get a jester hat. That's what I need to do. And just dance.
We'll make a dunce cap, and when you say things like that, you're like, you know what you got to do. And you're like, yeah.
Put it on. Oh, dang it again, Matt.
There's an improv comedy troupe in Orlando where we live.
Okay.
Called Sac Comedy Lab.
Okay.
Hilarious, and they're clean. And if anybody ever breaks the clean rule, they have to wear the box of shame, and it's literally a box that they have to put over their head.
We need a box of shame.
Yeah.
Ray, you did it again. You crossed the line. Dang it. Man. Gotta use that voice the rest of the time. No, I mean, yeah, here's the thing. So, it amazes me. And we bring up this list to kind of point out the fact that here's the deal. All these rage monsters, at this point, is the left really pissed off? And here's the question. Anecdotally, I do believe that they're pissed off. But are they pissed off for the right reason? And are they pissed off for the people? Or are they being manipulated to be pissed off for, I hate to say it, no, it's a conspiracy theory. Love that you brought up 9/11, by the way. Oh, did you see me when we were talking about 9/11? I was like,
Yeah, I saw you.
I was like, yes. But
Yeah, but I'm not talking.
I know. But I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Both sides use 9/11 for multiple reasons. But anyway,
Patriot Act.
yeah.
I'm not for it.
No,
Sorry.
I mean,
and I don't like that Kavanaugh seems to be totally okay with it. So
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, it goes both ways. So we're conservatarians. So, well, I'm a conservatarian.
yeah,
Conservatarian.
Constitutionalist, conservatarian. Either way, neither party is trying to get us to, you know, the bare bones Constitution when it comes to the federal government. So.
Yeah. We should have like behind us have like, he's like Glenn Beck's side and I'm more Alex Jones side. I'm just kidding. We come from the same mold, same cloth, just different parts of it. Anyways, but my point is, all this rage, is it really drummed up by actual breaking of principles, or is it told to them to be mad about this for a time, and then once empirical evidence destroys it and shows that that's not beneficial to the people don't sit back and realize, like, man, maybe I was on the wrong side of the debate with David Hogg. Maybe I was on the wrong side of due process when it came to Christine Ford. Maybe wrecking Judge Kavanaugh wasn't good. Maybe the Paris Accord isn't going to stop hurricanes. Maybe, just maybe, voting for Donald Trump wasn't because of white supremacy. Maybe disagreeing with Obama's bad ideas had nothing to do with racism. But the problem is no one ever sits and self-reflects. Now, I don't say everybody, because you got people like David Rubin on the Rubin Report who flip sides. And I'll even say that with myself. I'm still a registered Democrat. I'm a registered voter. I get the text messages for Gillum all day long for governor, who's like, yeah, let's ruin Florida by taxing you an extra $1 billion. Yay! Let's become like New York.
Ugh.
And kill the economy and kill the jobs and send them other places because nobody wants to do business. Let's be like New York, who can't keep businesses. Can't keep businesses. But anyways, doesn't matter. DeSantis is going to win. But anyways.
I hope so.
Well, that's another conversation for another time.
Well, yeah, I hope so as much as, you know, He's not a crazy socialist.
Yeah, yeah. So, but my point is this: when do you self-evaluate? I will be the first to admit I am not a George Bush fan. Still am not. I'm still not at all. Hardcore against the war in Iraq. I was very hardcore against how things transpired. I'm still a hater on the weapons of mass destruction. I'm there. Trust me. That was a lot of the reason why I was pushed towards the Democratic policy, the Democratic side. But when Obama came into power, and I started realizing quickly, once I kind of grew up and had to graduate college and become a real person, and realize how much money was being taken from me and given to conserving ponds for ducks or abortions or things that I don't agree with, my mind changed. I'll be the first to admit, I literally thought I was duped into the idea that it's a woman's choice for a long time. I believe that, and that's coming from a Christian college, you know what I mean? Until my mom kind of revealed to me how I became in the world. And I realized quickly, oh wow, if I believed my own principles, I wouldn't exist. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that changes the game. Because here's the thing. Our opinions could change on things. They could. 20 years from now, when you're looking at this old stuff, they're going to use this against us when we're on, when they have us guest commentary on Fox News. When they have us take over the Levin show on CRTV. When they have us on, we'll be third chair at one day with Louder with Crowder. It'll happen. It'll be hilarious. We'll third share that bad boy.
That would be great.
Dude, how funny would that be?
That would be super cool.
Dude, your ratings would go through the roof. Wake up, Crowder. Wake up. You want a African like me. You don't want a quarter black guy. You want a African. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? At some point, they're going to go back, look at our old stuff and some of our old opinions and views, and mock us. You know what I mean? And this is the thing. I will give it to Glenn Beck. I I am a Glenn Beck hater. However...
You're not a hater.
I listen to him, but I don't agree with most. Now, flip side. You know what got me into talk radio? Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck was the first person, other than Neil Bortz. Have you heard of Neil Bortz before? Mm-hmm. The Bortz is who got me addicted, because I was so pissed off at Bortz. He was so wrong, and he was such a racist white guy. And then, you heard his ideas, and you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh. And then I flipped over to Glenn Beck, and I was like, oh, Glenn Beck, that crazy. Oh, that makes sense, too. Then the Sean Hannity guy came on the radio. Ah, crap! And magically my worldview changed because my ideas were finally challenged. And what we're trying to do on Plausible Foolishness is challenge this stuff. Whatever the next thing that CNN flashes up for the dog whistle for you to get raged about, just think about it before. It's going to be something else, because it's a playbook. Yeah. It's something about sex, or race, or envy of wealth. It's rich people are bad, or Republicans are evil. And that's always the playbook. It's either, the rights, they hate women, they hate people of color, they hate poor people. They're just evil. They're evil to the core. And it always comes down to one of those things.
Now, some might say that the right's no different. But really, if you really think about it, we only hate one thing. We're only against one thing. And that is the consolidation of power. We're against big government. We're against big corporation. We're against power that isn't spread out amongst the people.
Wait a minute,
we want a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. A constitutional government.
And if you think through that, you'll come to the right conclusion. And that's what I did. No pun intended. I came to the right conclusion. Because I didn't like big government. And then I realized Obama's all about big government. And making it harder for smaller businesses to thrive. And small business generates most of the economy in America and the job creation.
And remember all this talk about how lobbyists were going to get kicked out of the White House?
Yeah.
Never happened.
No.
Never happened.
Nope.
I also remember that I don't believe Trump ever made that promise.
No, the only thing that Trump said was if you are in Congress, it's illegal. He tried to push a bill that it would be illegal for you to become a lobbyist right after the fact, which would start the process of killing the swamp. Because a lot of these guys do is like,
did it get passed?
Who probably not. Because he's trying to push term limits too.
Yeah.
And of course, the people in power, that the legislative branch is against that because that kills their cash cow, kills their ability,
kills their lifelong career.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Hillary. The moment that Hillary was not politically sexy, magically the Clinton Foundation disappeared. Poof.
Yeah. Just ran right out of money.
That's weird. Once you can't buy influence, there's no point of it anymore. And this is why these guys are fighting for. This is why Bill Nelson is fighting for. This is why. Who's the girl that brought up the Christine Ford deal? What's her name?
Feinstein.
How long has she been in office?
Forever.
Think about that. You know what I mean? People. I mean, even like how long did John McCain? And I'll rip on the right too. I wasn't a big McCain guy. How long was Jeff Flake in power? How long? I mean, think about this stuff. How long are these dudes in here? And the guys that are actually good, and this is going to be a controversial one, but you know, Rand Paul.
I don't think that's controversial. I think he's great.
I think he's a great guy. Ron Paul. Ron Paul still in politics?
No.
He came in, messed some things up, and bounced out because he's a public servant. Trey Gowdy.
He's leaving.
Deuces. Like, just look at both sides. Who's really for the people? The people that just stay in power? That's what communists do. They just stay in power as long as possible. Defend whatever evil there is to stay in power. That's what's happening. That's what's crushing Venezuela, people. But the right, they're out. They're doing their terms and they're out.
The good right.
The good right. You know? Rick Scott could be governor of Florida forever. He could. He's not pissing anybody off. He's running for Senate just to dethrone a guy who's been there since the 70s. The 70s, man. Or 80s. I don't know. That's still a long time. 30 years. You need to be a senator for 30 years. Is that good for the people, or is that just good for you? Is that just good for the power structure? I don't know. Call me crazy. But it's the same thing. Like, and I hate to bring it up, and we see this all throughout a lot of different things, man. This is why there's corruption in Hollywood. How long did, what's his face, Weinstein get away with what he was doing? He didn't want to give up power. He didn't do what was beneficial for other people. And then you see
it's not like nobody knew.
People knew, man, and they played along, and they... You know, and I get it. Everybody works for the man in some form. I'm about to work for the man. I'm excited. Got a new job. A little pumped up about it, but God is good. He provides all the time. But my point is this. Same thing happens in education. What do all teachers go for? What's the one thing that professors want?
Tenure.
What does tenure mean?
You can't get fired?
You can't get fired.
Or at least it's extremely difficult to make it happen.
So is that a good thing or a bad thing? Could be good for job security for that individual person. But what happens if they're a crap teacher? Or they ascribe to crap studies? Like, recently. Something fun happened, man, in academia.
Yep. We got so there's been stories for quite some time where some ridiculous idea gets posted to a peer-reviewed journal. It's published by a peer-reviewed...
Peer-reviewed.
Yeah, by a peer-reviewed journal that is completely ludicrous, and then you come to find out that it was actually
a troll.
That they purposefully created this ludicrous article to see if they could get it published. Well, and I didn't realize it, but it's come to light that all of these instances were actually the same group.
And they're
exposing. That have been publishing article after article.
Yep.
And then eventually, I guess it came to light, and so then they revealed themselves and what they've been doing.
The video is funny on YouTube. Them laughing.
Yes.
And mocking these people.
Well, and here's the interesting thing: the most recent one was the dog park thing about how, you know, what the male dogs do in the park is misogynistic and
could trigger
victims and so on and so forth. You know, it's ridiculous.
A dog humping a leg.
This is in a gender theory journal, peer reviewed, and they got it accepted. It's going to be published, and it got accepted after all of this came out.
Yep.
So they still just don't know, you know, and they just.
And here's the problem.
You can get anything published by these journals.
And here's the. And I'm going to rage here. I'm getting closer to the camera. I'm going to rage. I'm gonna rage a little bit.
Do it.
Against the machine, not for it, like these idiots are. Okay. How often do the people of the right, the people that fight for the people, are told to cite our sources and cite academia and cite all this crap? And these are the same idiots that are telling you that a dog humping someone's leg is psychologically traumatizing to people of victims. In some place, right over here at UCF, they will teach it to some 18-year-old girl or guy or soy boy, whatever you want, and they'll believe it. And then they're going to spout crap that isn't true, like the gender wage gap. And people will believe it. They will cite this as fact. And you'll say it, you'll hear it on CNN, you'll hear it all this stuff, and people will cite this as truth. And it's complete bunk. And here's the deal, this is what they say, in academia, these are peer-reviewed articles. They're not reviewed by peers, they're pushed. There's an agenda. The media, the left, Hollywood, and academia all have an agenda. I hate to break it to you, newsflash, Walter Cronkite, they've got an agenda. And they're not raging for the benefit of humanity. Let me repeat that if you missed it. They're not raging for the benefit of humanity. They're not putting... Sorry, man. I got so intense, I screwed up the mic. See, this wouldn't happen if you just donate some money to us and we get 2 mics, and this wouldn't happen. Okay? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Rubes. I love you. But my point is this. You're going to cite academia as the gold standard of truth knowledge. And they're accepting crap like this. And you're not checking them because CNN's not. Hollywood's not. Their own people are not. When there's credible studies out there that are actually true getting squashed by academia. We were just talking about it before the show. We were talking about the bell-shaped curve of men and women. Actual study done over many years, actual science, explaining why there's more male CEOs and male convicts than women. Explaining it. And this actual study was cited as dangerous and cannot be released. Not because it wasn't true, because it might scare women from trying to be a CEO someday. But the same people will let a fake study about dogs humping legs go through. Which one helps the people? Truth or bullocks? Which one? I went British, sorry. Which one? And you're going to sit there and tell me I'm a dumb conservative that hates science, and your scientists, your academics, your tenured professors that spout this crap and suppress truth are the same ones telling me that I came from a monkey and stardust and all this other stuff. Same ones. Give me a break. This is why I'm going to homeschool my girls. Kick rocks, people. Sorry, back to you. Sorry. Who are they benefiting? Are they benefiting people? If you lie to people, it is not helping people. It doesn't help to lie.
Here's the thing is, though, they think they are.
But they're not. When you lie to people, it gets worse.
Yep. And
it makes it worse.
See, this is because, again, they've abandoned logic. They've abandoned reason. And they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. Now, some use it because, like, I think the politicians use it for the power grab.
Of course.
The academics use it for a different kind of power grab, but a power grab nonetheless.
Sure.
But they do believe.
True believers.
They're true believers, and they're which makes them
even
useful
if they're
pawns for the politicians.
Yeah.
It's maddening because we're making all these arguments, right?
Yep.
And there's a few people who this will reach, but there's a large percentage of the people who are spouting this that it means nothing.
Yeah,
it has zero effect.
But they're a professor and you're not, man. You're a professor and they're not.
Yeah. Yeah,
and that's the mentality that creates kings. No offense. And this is off topic, but this is why communists get into power. This is why kings are created.
Well, yeah, I mean, they used the intellectuals.
Like, when you submit...
But then the first thing they did was get rid of the intellectuals.
Oh, they
because,
chopped them out, yeah.
because then they're a threat.
Listen, that's the loudest jet. I think that jet's crashing.
I know.
It's got to be crashing. It's because they didn't listen to the engineers. But no, my point is this, like, okay, they will use these guys, and you will submit to their authority. It's like the lab coat. You ever heard of the lab coat thing?
Yeah.
People put a lab coat on, and magically, you're really smart. You should get a lab coat on.
Yeah, right.
You may be completely full of crap. This is how people like can impersonate doctors in hospitals and get away with it. When you just lay down at the throne of expertise and authority, the problem is the equal parts good that you could get from that wisdom can be flipped to the other way too.
Yeah, it could be
used against you.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. It can be used against us, and we all do it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, of course. Who has the time to research every single facet of life?
But here's the problem.
Nobody.
How often does the left do that? How often do they trust and verify? How often do they do this?
Never.
Or are they like...
That's why you can get a testimony like Ford's and,
yes!
make it all the way to a Senate hearing.
And people believe it, and they're, Kavanaugh's a rapist. Based on what? Oh, get Steven Crowder off of our campus. I mean, watch the... What was that? The
Change My Mind.
Change My Mind.
Culture is a myth.
When you submit... When you lay down at the feet of academia without actually critically... The point of peer review is for things to actually be true.
Yeah.
But when they're all colluded together, real collusion, to push their belief, not truth, their belief, and you submit to it, this is the crap you get.
Yeah.
You start thinking a dog is a microaggression. Like, think about that. A dog's a microaggression.
If you think that your gender studies class is a legit science class,
full of it,
you've got a problem, man. You've got a real problem because you can just make up an article and it'll get published.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing scientific about it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Not at all.
Nothing.
I mean, at this point in academia, and I say this, and I say this as a true believer. Like, people ask me, "Are you going to start up a college fund for my girls?" And I'm like, no. No, not at all. Not because educating my girls is not the deal. It's just the reality of the situation is this.
There's only one reason to go to college.
STEMs?
STEM. That's it.
Science, technology, education, or science, technology, engineering and mathematics.
Those are the only reasons.
Because math doesn't care about your feelings, unless it's Common Core.
Yeah.
Engineering doesn't care about your feelings. There might be
some aspect of quantum mechanics that cares about your feelings. So, like, feelings changes the outcome of whatever experiment you're doing.
Yeah. But think about it. Like, at this point, and this is coming from a guy with a master's degree. I have a master's degree, and I've said this before on this show. I learned for a long time a lot of science that ended up getting disproved literally 5 years after I left, and people still to this day do the science that actual science has shown isn't real. You know, and that's the problem. It's not that the education's a bad thing. It's a great thing. You should always be educating yourself.
It's not that science is a bad thing.
No, science is a great thing. We love science. That's the thing about the right. We love science. That's why we don't buy that Trump is behind all hurricanes and that the earth is melting away because of global warming. I mean, global cooling. I mean, weather, climate change. I mean, there's a reason why. You got to question this crap.
Yeah.
You got to question this crap.
We love science. And we question science because science is the art of questioning.
Yeah.
You know?
And questioning is beneficial to the people.
And it's not pure skepticism either. It's not like constantly doubting everything.
Well, I constantly doubt everything, but that's because I'm a true a-hole. Well, I'm an a-hole, so.
I mean, you're a skeptic. Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, I mean, but
I mean, it's just, there's a healthy level where, you know, if something doesn't gel, maybe that requires some research, and you know, it's great that you brought up that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to know that that's actually true.
True.
You know,
and not true for a moment. Truth stands the test of time, It does. Truth stands the test of time. Water always finds its level. I've never seen, water not do that. I've never seen water just float out of randomness, but, whatever. That's crazy. If I don't breathe, I'll die. The sun rises every day, does it not? Or am I high? I don't know. I never saw the sun today, so I was up at the crack of noon. It was kind of weird, whatever. Man, I gotta get up now and stuff for my new job. But anyways, my point is, like, they're actual things that have stood the test of time. Mm-hmm. Dogs starting microaggressions, it's a pretty new phenomenon, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's treated as actual science should tell you something about the educational system.
That's the thing. And it's fine to postulate that theory, but you're not a misogynist for saying that's ridiculous.
And you're not a misogynist for actually pointing out that it's a bum study.
Yeah. These things are coming up, these theories are coming up, and they're not just changing our culture, they're making it a crime to live, kind of,
Yep.
They're weaponized against us when they're not even provable.
Yep.
When there's nothing scientific about it, it's just a theory.
Yeah. Yep. And and here's the funniest thing about gender studies, all these studies are based on some form of morality, and then I always go back to the question, well, where do you get your morality?
Yeah.
What is actually beneficial for society based on what they believe, and they can't really answer that, but that's another point for another time, man. But at the end of the day, my point is this, like, obviously we love being plausible, we love being foolish, we love bringing up this stuff, and this is episode 34, bro.
Yeah.
We're gonna blink, it'll be like episode 52. That would be a full year of us doing this craziness.
Yeah.
Which is insane. I'm excited, I'm a little jacked up, a little pumped up, but here's the point. The point is this, long story short, when you're assessing your stance on things, what are you basing it on? Truth? Reason? Logic? Freedom? Or is it feelings? Is it whatever? Is it emotions? Is it, guilty until proven guilty or innocent? What are you doing? What are you thinking about? The other thing I always like to check people on is, does this benefit humanity, or does this benefit the man, the real machine? What does it benefit? Is the machine looking out for you? Let's get real. It may not be. A lot of times, we're driven selfishly by humanity, okay? I want to make more money so I can eat more Qdoba. I'm not going to lie. I love Qdoba burritos. It's good. It's
better
selfish.
than Chipotle?
Way better. That's another topic for another time. Have you had Qdoba?
I disagree.
Whoa. Oh, we have to. Can we do that on our next episode?
Yeah, we can do that.
That'll be the beginning of our next episode.
Okay.
Qdoba. Chipotle.
I think
What's better for humanity? Queso. Real good queso. Not this fake queso they're trying to,
That's
whatever.
Like it.
But my point is this, like, think about this. What are your ideas based on? What are they?
And here's a deeper than just humanity.
Yeah.
Does it protect the ultimate minority of the individual?
You've had some zingers today, bro. 9/11 and that one, that finished it off strong. I've got nothing else to say. You better follow us on Plausible Foolishness, man. You got to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. But the most important place that you can follow us right now, if you can't give us a single red cent, follow us on YouTube, man. Like, subscribe, and share on YouTube, man. This is what keeps this bad boy running, keeps us going and kicking butt. But we really love, now we love you, all you Rubes. We love the Rube Nation. We're excited about you guys. But let's get real with ourselves. You know who we love even a little bit more?
Who's that?
And this is going to sound a little bit like, what is it, Animal Farm? You ever seen Animal Farm? They're more, the book about communism. Mm-hmm. They're more animal than the other animal, okay? More Rubes than the other Rubes. You're more Rubes than the other Rubes. Or the people that donate on
they're the 33rd degree Rubes.
33 degree, yes! 33 degree
Rubes. I was listening to our last episode. Yes. That popped in my head. I was like, that's a keeper.
Keeper. 33 degrees on the other level, man. We're on the other side of the secret society. When you guys donate, you're the ones that keep the lighting on. You're the ones that keep us rocking and rolling. And the format's going to change a little bit with Plausible Foolishness. We've got ideas. We've got different things that we're going. We're kind of like Kenny Omega. But we won't talk about wrestling. It scares a lot of you Rubes. So we've listened to the masses, okay? We'll save it for
them.
I know.
We love it, man. It's so good.
How can we just change their mind? How can we change their mind?
We're gonna produce separate content from the podcast.
Yes.
That'll be about our love for wrestling, maybe they'll check it out and maybe they'll get intrigued.
Can we still louder with Crowder and just set up a table and say wrestling's awesome? Change my mind. How good would that be?
Actually, yeah, that
Nope,
would be pretty
change
fun.
my mind. Okay. Can we
Would be
do
pretty
that?
Fun. I guess.
We could do that on public. We could totally do that. Professionally, wrestling's awesome. Change my mind. This is a perfect time to do it in.
Yeah, yeah.
Show idea. But anyways, my point is this. Man, keep supporting us. We really appreciate everything, man. I'm excited. You know, we might be on the road. We might be doing some split screen stuff with Skype pretty soon, which we're pretty pumped up about. I'm still gonna miss you though. We'll still be doing this because you know when I'm in town, I want to hang out with you, your sexy beard and everything like that. And sexy, your beard's getting strong, bro. Your beard game's strong.
Try.
I mean, keep that beard growing. The only way we do that is make sure that you're donating, man, on Patreon. Take care of us, man. Like, subscribe, and share on YouTube. And if you can't even do that, just make sure that you follow us on Instagram. I've got some funny memes on there. And Twitter. YouTube. YouTube's the way to go.
Share.
Subscribe. YouTube.
Click that bell if you want to get notifications. So we're not shadow banned yet. We're too small.
We're too small. And that's the advantage, baby. It's all good. Follow us on Minds. We're on Minds, too, as well, which is an interesting platform. We've got a lot of different platforms. We've got a lot of different plans. We've got a lot of different ideas. And we want to keep bringing you great content, guys. So we appreciate you guys. Man, it's been plausible. It's been foolish. Been a little bit of both, but it's been amazing. Have a great one, guys. Love ya.
Peace out.